All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Safe Wheel live stream where I share my real P&L on 3 accounts and teach my proprietary Safe Wheel options trade system for free. And the system is currently up 23% year to date. Now, please type in the chat that you can hear me okay. I'm going to assume that you can hear me and move forward. Also, post any questions you might have right now. I don't want to get to the end of the broadcast and run out of time and not answer your question. So make sure you put those in the chat now. All right, let's get started. So I'm going with the earnings edge. This is the first account that I'm going to go over. And you can see here, these are all the trades that I've made for the year. And you can see my account balance started with $5,000. And really the question is, what happened last week? Well, last week there were no stocks that fit through all the 8 filters. So we did not make a trade. So currently my record is 21 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties. And ever since I started implementing the 8 filters, my record is 6 wins and 2 losses. And down about 7.8% year to date with this system here. Let's see here. Okay, Charles, thanks. And Peter, thank you. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, good. So that's the earnings edge. Let's get into the Premier level 5. So this is my, let's see here. So this one here, you can see the account balance. We started with $30,000. The thing about the Premier level 5, again, Premier being the best level 5 system that I have, and I think most of you know what level 5 means. If not, go ahead and, there's a video that I put together that explains what level 5 means. And if you don't get that, you can request it from me and I'll send it to you. So what's good about this system is it's truly diversified. And what I mean by that is, whenever you're trading a system, there's always some type of rule or some type of way of going about trading it. And a lot of it has to do with, like on CNBC, it could be some type of fundamental story and you might go long. There's always some reason why the market could go up or down, or your positions could go against you or for you. With the Premier level 5, there's only 4 things that can happen. Everything that can happen has been narrowed down into 4 things, and it's 4 different market types: the bull, the sideways, the crash market, and the grind down market. Those are the only 4 markets that exist in the world. So what I've done is narrowed it down into those 4 markets, and I have a system that can move through those 4 markets and make money in those 4 markets. I'm not worried about the economy or if the market's going to crash or some story or anything. It's truly diversified because I can account for all 4 market types. There's not 5 market types, there's only 4. And this system, it has accounted for all 4 of those market types. Okay, so as far as the Premier level 5, we took off a trade last week for a tie. So my record is 8 wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties. I have 2 positions open right now. And this started on April 8th, 2022. That's when we started trading this. And when I started trading this account, started with $30,000. And it's up close to 5% right now. And it did take a drawdown of about 3 to 4%. And if you compare that with the S&P 500, that's what I'm trying to do, is outperform the S&P 500. That's what I've done consistently with my synthetic dragon, and now with this system, the Premier level 5. So the market's been down 19.5%, and it's down about 19% right now, starting from April 8th, comparing to a side-by-side comparison with the Premier level 5. Okay, So you can see where the Premier Level 5 lays. Now let's get into the safe wheel. And what happened with the safe wheel? Here's my safe wheel account. This one here. You notice that I'm trading Uber and that I don't have any shares and that I do have a put hedge. I do have my hedge in place, but that's all I have. I don't have anything else. You can see Uber trading around $28. And last week I owned shares and I sold a covered call and my position got called away. So it's kind of like the normal wheel. You own 100 shares, you sell the call, it gets called away. Now I have nothing. So the next thing to do is to sell a put, start the cycle all over again. But one thing I want to do, I know that Uber is a good stock. It's fit through all 6 filters to be a good stock to trade. So I'm not worried about that. But what I want to know is my current put hedge, this 2250 strike, is it within 70% of the price of Uber? So current price of Uber, let's just call it $28. 28 times 70% is 19.6. So is my strike higher than 19.6? Yes, it is. So it's 2250, as you can see. So that means that my put that I have in place is good. And I like it to have, it's got to be above 70%. When we initially put it on, it was at 80%. So therefore, I'm going to continue with Uber. Now I could at this point get rid of Uber and start over and pick another stock. I mean, this cycle is finished. So I could technically start over, but I like Uber. I already have my put hedge in place. I don't want to pay more in commission, so I'm going to stay with it. So what would I do next? So think about it from the wheel standpoint. I'm going to trade. Let's put Uber here. Got Uber in here. So I'm going to trade this, the nearest cycle, the one that expires on Friday, today being Monday. And I'm going to sell a put. It's currently trading at $28. So I want to go out of the money and get at least 28 cents. I'm going to go to the 2750. I believe that was the one I sold that was the covered call that I made last week. So I sold this call, this 2750 call, and I'm going to sell this put. I wouldn't do the 28. That's too close to the money. So I want to come out of the money, at least one strike, and sell. I could come all the way down to the 2650 because I'm getting over, you can see here, 35, 38. I'm getting over that 28 cents. So I could come all the way down, but I'm going to take this premium at 27.50 and I'm going to sell this one. Now, as far as sizing, I've got approximately between $5,000 and $10,000. Therefore, I'm going to do one. I've got 3 put hedges. I've got one. I'm going to do one put. And looks like mid price is about 66. Shoot for 67. 27.50 put. Make sure that's all right. Okay, it was filled there. Now I've got to protect this hedge. This hedge right here. If the stock just goes up significantly, say 35, 40, this put hedge is going to lose so much value that I would lose money overall. So I'm going to buy a call, just a cheap call, somewhere around $5 or $6. It's $31.50, looks like. I'm going to buy this call. Probably pay 6 cents. I won't pay 7. Okay. So now I've got my wheel on. I've got my hedge on. I've collected really good premium here, about $60, $61. And we'll see what happens next week. I won't look at this until Friday at the end of the week when all these things expire, because if it goes above 31.50, I want to sell this and collect that premium. I want to get the juice that I got from the 31.50, say it goes to $32. I'm going to get that 50 cents. I'm going to sell it. Okay. I don't want to mess around with owning shares or anything like that if I don't have to. Okay, so let me see here. Also, if you want to know exactly how to trade the safe wheel system, I put together a flow chart, and I also put together the 6 filters that you use to pick the right stock for this system. So you want to make sure that you're not going to see me go through every single scenario. I don't think I've even gone through every scenario this whole year. So there are possible scenarios that occur. And so that's why you might want to get that flow chart. And I have it, both of the flow chart and how to filter through the 6 filters you use to pick the right stock. I've got those 2 available for just $89. Really, really cheap. So you've got a whole system of how to make money trading options for under $100. There's other instructors out there. They'll charge you $25,000 or $30,000, and they won't teach you anything better than this. It'll be the regular wheel strategy. So it's not. It doesn't even work as well as this strategy. It's a lot more risky. Okay. Well, let me get into the questions. YouTube user, I love that name. Can this system be used on SPY, ES, MES, and SPX? Yes, but I don't know if those would fit through some of the filters. One of the filters would be that you have the IV between, I believe it was over 60, between 60 and 100. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it needs to be. I don't know if any of these would fall into that category. They won't have enough volatility. And another problem is if you want to size things properly, I recommend you use a stock that's around $30 and stays between $20 and $40. Okay. You'd have to figure out the capital and reserves based on one tranche. And the question would be, is there enough premium? Yep, that's exactly what I just said there. So Jay answered that question. And Jay said, better to use more tranches of a more volatile stock or a volatile, more expensive stock with higher RV and good liquidity. Yeah, so if you use Tesla, for example, it might actually have too much volatility. I've found that there's stocks with too much volatility that gives that there's issues that come up. But yeah, the sizing, you'd have to multiply it out. We're doing a $5,000. We do one tranche, and we do a $30 stock. So if you did a $60 stock, maybe you can do 2 tranches with every $5,000. I'd have to run the numbers on the sizing to make absolutely sure, or you can run the numbers for yourself on backtesting this system. Backtesting would be a great idea. If you really want to learn how to do any system, just backtest it. Trust me, you will know that system inside and out. That is really the best way to learn any system. So would TQQQ work? Well, it would not work for the sizing. I'm going to stick to, let's keep our sizing in check and use a $30 stock. It just makes things a lot more simple. So just for that reason alone, I would say TQQQ would not work unless it's, I don't know, what's TQQQ trading? That's around $19. So it's got to be between 20 and 40. And I recommend starting at $30. If TQQQ is at $30, I would check, the other 5 parameters to see if it would work. Okay, Charles Peter telling me they can hear me. Good. Can this system be used? Oh, yeah. You're just asking the same question in case I missed your question. And we just talked about TQQQ. All right, Deep South Trading, you hear me? YouTube user hears me, good. Okay, let's talk about the underground sausage question for the end. When did you begin the earnings edge alerts? I started those in the beginning of the year, so January 2nd or whenever the first day of trading was. Can't wait to see if it does after a year. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Actually, on the earnings edge alerts, I've made a change. I did some back testing, and I made a recent change to how I exit the trade. And the back tests look really, really good, but I'm not going to claim anything or say that I did anything different than what my P&L states. So, and my P&L is my P&L. John Dove, will there be a fifth market type considering that a lot of financial education talking about the 2022 market crash is due to poly crisis? Well, what would a fifth type be? I mean, it would be a crash. I mean, I've already got the crash in there as the fourth market type. So no, in a crash, you see the tail, the options, the little teenies, the options that are really cheap right now, the puts, they explode in value. That's what a crash is. So doesn't depend on why that crash occurred, what caused it. It's still a crash, and it's still accounted for in the Premier Level 5. Will says, well within, I think he's referring to something. Oh, maybe referring to the market type. That there is no market type outside of a bull, a sideways, a grind down, or a crash. Everything fits into there. There's nothing outside of that. Can the system be used for Forex or commodities? I don't know. I haven't backtested Forex or commodities with the system, so I could not tell you. I think I used a commodity type stock once with this FDX, but yeah, you just backtest it. Probably would work. The thing is, the problem with the commodities is the skew is kind of backwards sometimes. In other words, the puts aren't more expensive than the calls. The calls can be more expensive than the puts. And that might kind of throw things off a little bit, and it would need to be back tested. But it's already been back tested, and it already works with the system that I have put together, so I don't see any reason to go outside of that. Peter Gilson, using the safe wheel strategy. What would be a regular return on an average market where the S&P has a growth of plus 5%? This thing has an average return of about 10% back tested. So this year is extraordinarily high for the returns. So I hope that answered your question, about 10%. But the drawdowns are pretty low. So what I see, I've seen a 5% drawdown so far this year with a safe wheel. I think I've seen maybe somewhere between 5 and 10% would be the max drawdown that I saw in backtesting. So you just never know. What happened with this year is we saw that 5% drawdown, and then we started over with a clean cycle. Now maybe that next cycle could have had another 5% drawdown, and that's where you get your your 10% drawdown. But it's pretty rare because we've been trading all year and we only had one 5% drawdown. So to have two of them in a row, pretty rare. Jay, thanks, Carl. Learning this system has been very informative. You are welcome, Jay. Schmitz, thanks for these live sessions. Learning a lot, learning a ton. You're welcome. And Guy, my favorite one. What does Uber do? So he's just asking off the wall questions. Just trying to be interesting, I guess. Guy always has something interesting to say, and it's usually not positive. Okay, so I'm not going to turn a live stream into what Guy wants to talk about. All right, so if there's any other questions, I see that Underground Sausage is responding to Guy, but there's no reason to respond to Guy. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions. I'll hold for just a second here before I end the broadcast. All right, I will be back next week at the normal time. And oh, don't forget to get this out to more people. Please hit the like button, and in order to get access to this, be sure that you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell. That's how you get the notification that my live stream's coming up. All right, you guys are welcome, and we'll see you next week.